Okay, good afternoon, folks. Hope everyone is well. Speedy, how you doing, my friend? 8th of October. I know I keep saying it. It's gone so quick. It's unreal. Okay, so I did get an evaluation yesterday, passed it yesterday. So I took a trade here on that one single account for 3 points. I actually went for 3 contracts on that. I actually kind of liked it. I tried to get it up closer to my other ones. So I've got 5 accounts now. I'm trading 3 of them with 2 contracts and 2 of them with 3 contracts. So that one worked perfectly. I just literally put it down right on the nose of that one. I expected that one. Now this seems to be going up, so we possibly could extend that. I mean, I kept it tight initially to there. Touch, it touched. If you look, it touched perfect there. So I actually kind of like that, and it touched perfectly on the backside. So, hey Tony, how you doing, buddy? So market is due to open now. Okay, we are open, so it'd be interesting to see. We did have a bit of a sell-off yesterday. I think I finished trading during that load of sideways crap. It wasn't the easiest of days. Every time we hit a top, it was in a different place. Every time we hit a bottom, and then we had a breakout there, came back in, and had that bit of a sell-off. Was there anything in there? Leg and a leg, maybe, possibly. Hard to say. That one, I don't think was a bad trade at all. We're clearly coming down. 2 perfect legs up. I always like it when it triggers a bull bar and then comes down. So that one I think was a good trade. That's one I would have taken. So let's see what happens. Let's see where we go from today. There may be something like that there. Bit of a spike and a channel. It's hard to say. Trouble is, because there's so little volume on this 2000 tick chart, it's hard to get a real sort of graph of where the thing is, exactly where it's moving towards. But we did come down and hit this level, so tough one at the moment. So Thomas Wade has opened, in fact, on his chart. Doesn't look too bad. It's surprising from chart to chart. It can make a bit of a difference. So if you extended that up, it doesn't look terrible. Actually, if I actually bring it to that bar there, it's close enough. But that one did work for 3 points, and I just did that just on the one account. I couldn't trade the other ones till 2:30. So let's see how we get on today, but let me have a little look. So we got no news today. We got CPI on Thursday in a couple of days. Yeah, there was a possibility I wasn't going to trade today, but we had a new sort of induction hob fitted. It was all done by 10 o'clock, so no problems there. So, yeah, Mac didn't mark a huge amount of trades yesterday. Certainly not. I think he only marked maybe one high probability trade, a couple of green ones. I think that was one of them. I agree with that one. Leg up and a leg. I think it was a nice trade that I left it. I can't remember why. The trouble is, when it's hitting different highs, you never quite know whether it's going to trigger that and go a little bit higher. Because there was also a possibility of another channel there. So it's just one of those things, isn't it? But in real time, it's not that easy to make a decision like that. You don't have time to think about it. You don't have time to see where the market goes and realise it was a good setup. So interesting. So I'm going to ditch that for a minute. There's a break, new high. So let me have a look up here. Let me just check all my
order submitted.
Opening. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 contracts there. Yeah, good.
Order cancelled.
So yeah, up to 5 contracts now. I like 5. 5 contracts, 5 accounts. That's a nice number, I think. No real pressure there. I certainly don't feel any on 5 accounts. 20 I did, but 5 not really. I got to say that worry and that pressure about losing trades and losing accounts is really kind of all but disappeared. It just doesn't worry me anymore. All the worrying in the world does nothing. So I think just over time it's just got less and less, and it really doesn't bother me anymore. It's not the end of the world, is it? So channel. I did initially have it there, but that's good enough for me. So a break here and eventually push up to a new high. We made another attempt there, but it's turned down. So I'm just going to put that there just in case we decide to go sideways. So channel break, new low. So there is a possibility we're going to bounce and push up here, but there's no guarantees. We've had a new high, tried again, so it could trigger you, come up to here, come up to the EMA and then start doing that. And it certainly could, so I'm avoiding trades here. Maybe a failure. If we can trap some shorts, then that may interest me, but we are finding some support here, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to continue up. It always concerns me that if you get in, it touches this and comes down. So that is a possibility. Let's kill the colour. So it's an area of interest, but wow, look at that. Big, strong buy off there. Look, big, strong push up there, rather. Oh. So I'm going to extend that just a little bit. So I like the fact that there's some support there and it didn't break below. Yeah, Thomas Wade has literally just posted that. So he's looking at a possible range as well. So I'm thinking along the right lines. Ooh. So let's have a look. So break new high. Let's just let's just check. Nothing connects anywhere. It doesn't as yet. It actually doesn't look too bad up here. I can bring that down a touch, which should fit better there. So there is a possibility of something larger, but that's that's a little bit premature at the moment. But I just like to be aware that we've touched there, we've touched there. It visually doesn't look that bad. If we come down to here and push up to here, then everyone will be drawing that line. So I like to be aware of where it could go. So we could have a leg and a leg, and it could connect somewhere down here and push up. So that's a possibility. But it's a little bit early. So what I'm going to do for now is just put that one line there. So at least I know if we come down to that area, I don't really want to be thinking about going short here. So channel down, 2 attempts to push up. Bearish bar there, just can't take that, unfortunately. That channel I put down there is a possibility, but it's too early to decide really based on that. That's the trouble. As soon as you put these lines in, your bias changes, because that could trigger and create a higher low and push up to the top. Okay, that's triggered. Now let's see what happens. Oh, sorry about that. So we've pushed up and just pushed above that midline and dropped twice. So this could come down for a second leg. So I'm avoiding any trades here, regardless of how good they may look. Because although we found the support here, we have pushed up 2 legs to a new high. So this could continue to come down. Let's see if it closes below there. I wouldn't be surprised. There's going to be liquidity along here. So I expect that to clear most of it. I'd like that to close below there. Okay, so it's not very bullish, that. It's more neutral, but it has triggered, so this may come down here. I'd like this to come down here and get below there. Hey, Kev, how you doing, matey? Okay, I'm going to ditch that now. So channel down, 1 attempt higher, 2nd attempt higher. And that's triggered. Let's see how far we get up here. Good. How are you? I'm all right, mate. Thank you. I'm done for the day already. Good on you, mate. Good on you. Just chilling. So yeah, sometimes it's nice to just watching it for a change. It's nice to have a day and not trade sometimes. I think sometimes you see the market slightly different. You may notice things you don't usually. Yeah, I think it's a good exercise once in a while just to sit and watch. I'm on a quick trade like that in months. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I was surprised with that. Initially, I didn't have that as a break. I had it touching there and it fitted nice. So I had that, I had that as a break with 2 pushes up and a lower high. I like the fact that we trapped that failure there and came down. So I thought the chance of that coming down to the EMA was pretty good. So I actually put my profit right at the close of that, and it just came down past it just 1 tick. I expected that bit of liquidity to get grabbed, and it did by a tick. So once it got below there, I was quite comfortable with that one. So it worked all right. It wasn't a huge risk. Way to the highs, yeah. So yeah, it is nice occasionally to get into a trade earlier and kind of get it done. We used to get it a lot going back a couple of 3 years. There was a lot more setups. If I look back some of my old, I've been saving my old charts for over 3 years now. If I look back at some of my old charts, and I was marking 3 or 4 trades a day and really nice, obvious ones. But things have definitely changed. Second entry long around the market open. Where was that? Around about here. That one there. Yeah, I don't think that was terrible at all. Channel break new low. It was a relatively small risk. Yeah, second entry long, pushed up plenty. It's clearly finding support here, so yeah, I don't think that's a bad trade. Oh, right at 230. What was it? Did you say second entry short? Oh, second entry long. Right at 230. Second entry. Oh, that one there, up to the top. Is that the one you mean? Yes. Okay. Yes. Well, I've got it as a hidden second entry long. Would I take that? I wouldn't personally. Reason being, we've had a break there, 2 pushes to a new high. So I'm expecting this market to quite lightly come down. It surprised me that it went up. So personally, I wouldn't have done. Having said that, it is definitely finding support on that midline, and it is a small risk. It's a very small risk. So what is it? Yeah, tick above, tick below. Yeah, it's tick above, tick below. It's like a 0.3. I took it as a second entry long retest. So yeah. I tend to avoid those personally, mainly because I'm a coward. But yeah, the trouble is, we all progress at different levels, and we all are better at certain types of trades. Like I was telling you yesterday, I tend to. I'm not very competent at picking tops and bottoms, but some people are. So it depends how you trade. You know, if you see that a lot, and we all sort of watch different parts. You know, we all pay attention to certain ways the market moves. So I don't think there's such thing as a bad trade or a good trade. I think a lot of it is how you perceive it and how competent you are at, you know, taking trades like that. I mean, initially, see, I had that there pushing up against there, and part of the reason is that I liked it so much is we got a touch. Those 2 bars, well, I adjusted it slightly, but those 2 bars, the stems sat perfectly on there. And if you look, the touch there, I thought that was perfect. And the way we had 2 pushes up and a lower high, that for me was very, very likely second entry short, very likely to come down to the EMA, and it did exactly where I expected it to. There was some liquidity there and here. That bar there, those bullish bars there were floating above that EMA, so I expected that stop to get triggered, and it did by 1 tick. And I had it actually on the close, not 1 tick below. So as soon as it broke, it triggered my trade. In fact, my 3 points was a tick slightly higher than that. But there's so many different ways to trade the market, and you know, I still say that's why Mac doesn't show us his trades, because he breaks his own rules, and why not? Because he can. You know, the way I see it, Mac teaches you. You know, when you're learning to drive, your driving instructor doesn't sit there and go through his history of being on the road, what you got to look out for, the mistakes he's made. He doesn't. He teaches you a certain way of doing things to get you to pass and to get you safe, and then you go out and learn yourself. And that's the same with trading. You know, we know when we've been doing it a couple of years, the experience we build up and judgment and gut feeling, you can't teach someone that. That has to come, you know. So I think Mac probably shows us about 10 or 15 or maybe 20% of what he actually knows, just enough to get us there, and then we have to sort of get out there and figure out for yourself. You have to. That's how experience in this business works. Hey Jan, how you doing, my friend? Absolutely, yeah. There's so many different ways, and people adjust and do things slightly different, and I think that's fine. I watch a lot of he's not there at the moment, but little bits of Wilson. Now, he takes first entries sometimes, and he doesn't follow Mac's setups to the letter. But I thought he's a bit lucky there. He's going to get caught out. But it seems to work for him for quite enough time now to say it's not luck. So he's sort of found a way to fit within that, that bubble, and it works for him. So I certainly don't think, treating Max absolutely religiously. When I look at some other trades that I've seen on Thomas Wade's forum, a lot of them I don't think are trades that I wouldn't take, but they work. So, we all drive something different. When you learn how to drive, they teach you not to cross your arms and all this sort of stuff. And then everyone goes out there and drives their own way. It's kind of similar in a way. We all, I remember having an email with Mac once a couple of years ago, and he said it's perfectly normal to find other ways of doing it, easier ways, better ways. It's perfectly normal as a trader. That's how you develop. Markets change over time. So you kind of have to move with them. And he went, don't worry about it, just go with it. And that's how you build your kind of experience and your skill level up. Trouble is, we, as newish traders, we focus so much on how shit it makes you feel from time to time and your mistakes and the times you've lost money. You tend to forget that little brain and those cogs working along in the background, learning that skill, building those, honing that skill. But we tend to focus, it's like anything, isn't it? You tend to focus on the bad stuff sometimes and you forget about the good stuff. That's human beings, I think, sometimes. We got a lot more memories about the bad things. Good things kind of sort of fade into the background. So I am looking along here to see if this may connect with this line. Let's put that right on the nose and drop that a bit to about there. So I just hope we're not going to spend 3 hours going sideways like we did yesterday. So there was a second entry long there. My only slight concern with there is I go for 3 points and we seem to be bouncing here. So I don't think it's a bad trade, actually, that. You could say once, twice, triple test. It certainly went up to the top. So if you went a tick above it, see, I go for 3 points. So mine would have to get to there, and that'd be too high for me. I'd be a bit, well, it wouldn't have worked. There's only about 2 3/4 points just to the top, and you got to push through, so that adds an extra quarter of a tick on. Quarter of a point on, so or a tick. But for a scalp, 1.5 point, something like that, that worked. See where this falls. So if that doesn't look too bad, actually. So I was push up, break new high, sideways. If we're going to move up again, we're going to find this line, I think, or close to it as we can, and then hopefully push up again. So can we? We certainly can. I expect there's a good chance we get up to around about this area somewhere, which from here, let's put it from there. It's a big if, but it's a big ask, but you never know. So that would take us right above this. So we certainly could. Whether we will, I don't know, but I like the way we're still working sideways. Hopefully, if we can start to pick off the edge of this line and move up, we may get something. So this is interesting. This NQ is already on its way up by the looks of things. So let's go from there to there. Sideways, sideways. This has started moving up. A leg and a leg, bearish bar. Leg and a leg, bearish bar. See, if I move that up there, it's not actually making a massive difference. Now, if I had a little bit more of a stem on that bar, a little bit more of a wick on those two bars, that would fit fine. So I'm just going to bring that back just a fraction. I can touch there and touch those two bottom wicks. So yeah, it doesn't actually look bad on this chart. It fits a little better. Touch, touch. It fits nice along that top. We're a bit off the bottom, but I'm not too concerned with that. But it does fit a little better. Penguin, let's see what Penguin's got for us. I was expecting this to come down. So I watched a little bit of Alpine's stream yesterday. And as soon as he opened, you could tell the conversation was veering towards why Apex changed the rules or started adhering to the rules. It was clearly because of him. He thought so as well. I thought so. Most of us did, I think. I'm still a little bit as bewildered why he didn't fade into the background and kind of milk it for what it was worth. But he kept on streaming and actually saying that he was concerned about Apex finding out what he was doing. I'm surprised he actually came forward and said that. But he seemed to be making a ton of money. He went out and bought that brand new Porsche 911. So I'm hoping he's going to earn enough money to be able to run the damn thing. I think buying these sports cars is one thing. Affording to run them and maintain them is another matter, I think. I know he seems to be struggling now. The trouble is, there's no way in real world terms you could ever really trade like that. You can't not put. I know some traders, trade without a stop, but they're not prepared to lose their count on a losing trade. So leg and a leg. This thing does look like it's moving up. Oh yeah, Thomas has just posted that as well now. So. He's thinking the same sort of thing. I put mine earlier. He thought so as well. So there's a few of us think that there's something slightly larger anyway. So that's good news. It's always nice to get some other opinions there. So there is going to be some liquidity here, I dare say. Around about there. In fact, let's put a proper channel there. In fact, you know what? We could really just put it there, and it absolutely fits plumb perfect there. So it could be something like that, actually. But just for now, more people seem to have it that way. So I'm going to leave that where it is. Trouble is, nothing we could do up here. So channel with a break, new high. So that's played out. I like. In fact, if you have a general look at this, the midline fits nice. You can see it fitting there, a little bit there, here as well, and there, and here as well. So the midline is clearly playing a part. So I don't think it's too bad. So I believe the US holiday on Monday. I think it's Olympus. Columbus Day, I think, isn't it, Monday? So there'll be no trading Monday for me. I've just given up on the holidays. They just don't. It's just like watching paint dry. Nothing worse than being in a slow market. It's hard enough, when we're in full flow here. But I don't bother with them anymore. I used to, but I don't anymore. So, working nice in a channel there. A leg and a leg. Where's this going? Up, I reckon. Okay, second entry long on the NQ. It's a bit far away from that EMA for my liking. But I think we'll probably reach these highs. Okay, clearly finding some support there or resistance there, so it made sense we have a bit of a drop. So we've got a channel break, new high, two pushes to a new high and then down. I wouldn't take this personally. We're close to the highs again. It's massive for a start. There is a higher low there, but there's just not much room there, in all fairness. It's about 2 points from top to bottom, that. No good for me. Yeah, 2.5 points from top to bottom. It is a higher low. Well, no, it's just turned out not great. I'd rather have a leg and a leg and come down here somewhere and catch this as a failed breakout, a leg and a leg. I expect this to come down, actually. It's triggered that higher low and that. I'd like to see both of those gone. There is some space down here if this is a channel, which I think it's veering more and more towards. I can't see anything else, so I'd say a little bit congested there, very doji-ish, and it's triggered, so I think it'll probably take that one out at least, maybe that one, and then maybe we catch it but going back in or back up. Okay, that's that one. Let's see if this holds. Leg and a leg. Okay, it's taking both those out. Yeah, that second leg's all of a sudden gone a little bit, but we're getting around here now, which is I don't think this is a terrible trade. It's just getting rather large.
Order submitted.
It looks better on my other chart. It's ticked below there. Same thing. It's much looking better. Well, it's not closed at the top, but it's triggered below there, which I think's useful. And we're close to this bottom. Trouble is, there's always a possibility that this isn't a channel and we've had a break with a new high and we've had two more pushes up and it could come down. I think it's doubtful, but it's 16 ticks. I'm not really in the market for a 16. Well, that's 16 ticks. That's without a tick above, tick below.
Order cancelled.
It is a leg and a leg, and it is working off this area. Yeah, it's tough on this. It's hard to know exactly where this thing's going or may go. Touch. It's looking in the right area. I mean, it could trigger and push up. Just check there's nothing. Way down. See, forgetting about the big picture, we got a leg up with a break. 1, 2 pushes up to a new high, so could come down here. Okay, so we got a higher low off here. Trouble is that's a channel, so it could break and come down for a new low. So as tempting as that is, yeah, someone's put a higher low off the trend line. Yeah, it is. But if that's a channel, you could get yourself into a spot of bother there. Could trigger you. Small break, trigger you, come down, stop out that, make a new low, and then do whatever it wants to do. So a failure with the better option here. Second entry short, trap that higher low, come down bearish, trigger, push up. That's the trouble, really, when you've got a downtrend as well, and we're at this sort of cross section. Oh, excuse me. So that has triggered. Now let's see if we get a second entry short here. I won't be taking a short, but it'd be nice to trap one. Channel break. This could come down. We may get a second entry short and come down. It's not pushing up strongly for me, which tells me it's got to clear out some of this liquidity if it's going to go higher. So that one I expect to get taken out, and quite likely that one as well. It's just, I don't think it's strong enough to go up at the moment. Quick push down, come on. Oh, very tempting. Yeah, this is coming down for me. It's almost teasing people in. It looks like it's sucking in longs. It just doesn't look strong enough for me. I mean, it may go up. I could be wrong, but I think this is going to flush down and take out that stop, possibly that one, which would give us a new low. And I think it'll do it pretty quick. So, depends how you look at this, but if I keep that tight there, this is a break. So, just does seem to be losing a bit of momentum. I'd like to see a break here and a leg and a leg. This is 100%, in my opinion, coming down. So, a leg and something else, really. We need to flush down and get some interest going along. There's nothing here, really. Let's put that back to where it was, to there. So that tells me we've had a small break. So I think a decent push down, maybe to the midline. Clear out some of those long stops, which, in my opinion, we're bound to get. But if this is a break, it's not going to break like that and push up. Unless I got this chart wrong. It's hard to say. There could be something more like this. Maybe something like that. I don't know. I just don't like this bit of vacant space here for me, but it could do. It also may be just bouncing off range highs. It's so hard to say. We're coming up to sort of some support here, but it's hard to say. It's struggling to get up. So for me, this is going to drop and clear out, because if you're going to go long here, you know you're going to wait for this to be cleared out first, for sure, aren't you? It's absolutely hammering down where I am. Absolutely paying it down. What a miserable day. Right, now flush down quick. Drop. Come on. What's going on at the moment? Channel down, leg and a leg, and then down again. This has got to come down, surely. I don't think it's enough of a break to, I think it's more in the channel. Here we go. Come on, it's got to clear that out. There's going to be no buyers in there, really. It's got to get below there and there and there as well, I think. Drop. Come on. 1, 2. Leg, 2 legs up and leg down to this midline and then maybe longer. It may go up a touch more and then come down. I still think this is going to come down. It's struggling to get up. Slower it goes up, quicker it comes down. Come on. Drop. Come on. There's some liquidity there, maybe there. Possibly, it's got to flush that out before it goes higher. Surely if it goes higher, we've got to have a leg and a leg in my opinion. Push down. Come on. Channel down, leg and a leg. Leg, perfect measured leg. Leg and a leg. So I like this for coming down, I do. Leg, 2 legs up and leg. That'll take us down to the midline. And then maybe sideways and slowly move up. If we can get a perfect measured leg and a nice bullish bar, a lot of the times they work the best of them all. Thomas Wade. Consider a fail second entry short. This for me has got to clear this area. At least down below there. Ideally that one. Come on. I mean, I could be completely wrong, but whenever it goes up slow, up slow, up slow, up slow, so many times it just dumps. Maybe not this time. So there's a higher low there. Well, there we go. All right, let's have a zoom out. It may work. I still feel we need a drop to clear out some of this, ready to go much higher. Does look like it's poised for a drop. I just thought that back here. Come on. It's going up so slow. It's got to have a break. It's got to come down and clear something out. It's really struggling. So, longs. There's such a lot of longs in here. Sometimes it's quite easy to get stuck in thinking a certain way. Taylor's took that trade. Risky. So that. Yeah, Taylor's in here. Yeah, the thing is, we've got up here pretty straightforward, but whenever we're really struggling slowly, I've been in trades like that before. Quite often they trigger a load of trades and drop and clear out this. So we had a push up quite strong there, relatively strong there. So it's just why I avoid trades, certain trades. I mean, won that trade, there's not much room to the highs. And so many times it'll trigger a trade, trigger a trade, trigger a trade, trigger a trade, and just woof, down it'll come. Slower it goes up, quicker it comes down. So, yeah, it's not that I'm wishing for it to do a certain thing. I'm staying out of it, whatever happens at the moment, partly because it's going up very, very slowly, and that to me says there's a battle going on here. So many times, if there's a lot of liquidity, and there is in there, there'll be some below there. But there is, and here, and possibly here as well. Yeah. So many times it'll just flush quickly, take out a couple of these, and then maybe go on its merry way wherever it decides it wants to go. But sometimes it will win. It'll win over. The bulls will win over. But whenever there's a battle going on, you can clearly see there is, because it's struggling very, very slowly. It's taken 20 minutes just to go from there to there. Shorts trying to, yeah. I mean, if I think there's a possibility that, it's like anything, isn't it? The more you trade, the more you see things happening. When you get stuck and you lose trades and you think, oh, I've been in here before, which is why this for me is a risky area to trade. I mean, you think there's going to be a hell of a lot of longs in there. And certainly some there, I would have thought. And I've been in trades like this, and you just get a feeling, don't you? I don't like the way this looks. I don't like the way this feels. No, I wouldn't. I'm not thinking about short either. I'm just thinking about, what happens a lot of the time. Slower it goes up. Sometimes it'll just drop. But there's obviously a battle going on, up, down, up, down, up, down. And it's slowly creeping. But sometimes the slower it goes up, the quicker it does come down. So my gut is telling me if I took that trade, I'm going to get my arse handed to me on a plate. Well, I could be completely wrong. But you've just got to, let your experience sort of guide you, haven't you? So, we got a touch here. I've had to adjust it a little bit here. We had it closer to there, and it's looking like it's working up. There's certainly a bullish bias for the day. There's no argument. We got a leg up there. We tended to go sideways, and then we started pushing up again. But yeah. When it does go slow, that makes me nervous. We know there's a lot of support up here. Getting close to this area. Sometimes these things just take a bit of time to get through, but if I was in that trade, I'd be severely worried about now. That's not to put any of you guys offer in there, but when you take a big bullish bar like that, right off that key entry point, if it is the key entry point, you expect stuff like that to work. So there's clearly a battle going on here. Where did he get in? So he got in about. What's it? He's in about here somewhere. So I think he'd. Where was he out? He was out at the top of this line, so he may not even be out there. He was out around about there, I think. Where are you? Yeah, right on the closer there, so he's not quite there yet. Yeah, no, it didn't. But there's another higher low there, which is relatively bullish, and it's triggered. But I mean, it could go up. It could go up. But you know, whenever you've been caught in certain trades, certain amount of times, and you see this same sort of picture happening, you just get wary. And sometimes it does rocket up, but more often than not, I'd expect this to come down and clean out a lot of this, which is why I kind of stayed out of it, because it is going really slowly. Bloody boring, I will say that. Oh. I think when we get above here, this area is certainly viable. Has anybody heard from Wilson at all? I haven't heard from him from mid last week. I tell you, he seemed to have disappeared off the face of the planet, as well as Moo Moo. I thought he was a nice lad, he was. Wow, look at that. So yeah, that's why they were protecting this area. You could see how many stops were there. Yeah, it doesn't often do that. So the way it was struggling like hell to get up, there were some stops there, and I dare say something back here as well. So, I mean, that shot up 10 points there. That's definitely not the news. Yeah, so you could clearly see it was really reaching. So we got a channel here, a push. So I don't know, stops there. Definitely, I mean, that pushed up really quick there and there, about 5 points. No, there wasn't any news. That's what I was on about. When it slowly there was a battle there. Clearly, there was shorts trying to protect that area, whether it was partly from there or partly from there. But it started going as soon as it got up there, and it went boom, boom. You know, it shut up from the top here. I'd say, what, 5, 10 points, 10, 12 points instantly. So this area was being protected. It may have been even there. See, I was expecting the opposite, and if the Bears had have won and the Bulls had have given up, it would have come down just as quick, I think. That's why I was just really uneasy about going along there when it's really slow, because so often it does the complete opposite. I've never seen it move like that, taking out stops quite like that quick. Or I don't remember seeing it like that. That to me looks like a news event, but it's just not. There's no news at the moment, unless something's happening somewhere in the world. But the way that was moving slow and struggling to get over there, when it hit a breaking point, obviously that was it then. Quick move up. So if you had your stop there, the trouble is, if you got stops here when that pushes up that quick, I've had a 2-point stop. In fact, I had a trade, it was a couple of weeks ago. It was a 4-point stop, and it moved that quick. It ended up stopping me out for 6.5 points. So I lost an extra 2.5 points. So if I'm in a trade and there's a stop, what I'm doing now, if I think there's a chance it's going to move quick, I'll get out of it a tick or two early so it hits me first rather than waiting for a tick above, maybe come out. If I think it's going to stop me out anyway, I'll save a couple of ticks and get out early and hopefully not get bashed by that. But if you had stops there, that moved up that quick, those stops may have been extended a little bit. But I've not seen that quick for quite a while, I think. And that moved really sharpish, didn't it? So it went from here like that, 13 points worth straight up. Well, maybe from here, I'd say possibly, certainly 10 points for around about here. Yeah, comfortable 10 points, 10, 11 points. That's what I mean. The slower it moves, the slower it goes up, quicker it comes down, or up in that case. So after it's cleared out a load of stops there, if you had these stops there from yesterday or here, it started from here anyway, and that pushed up, and then maybe it connected with some more. So we're clearly working up there. I'm quite happy with that. So this is the area I think it likely gonna get to, somewhere around about there, which is, I believe, all-time highs. Let me have a look. I'm very close to it. Let's have a look on the daily. We're not far off there, all-time highs. No, maybe not. Oh yeah, maybe. There, so where is that? That is, no, that's not right. $8.30. Oh, it's a bit further up yet. Got a bit further to go yet. 8:30ish, something like that. So I usually have a. There it is. Why is that not? Lock. Extend right. Why is that doing that? Okay, it's not having it. So let's go 30, roughly. So all-time highs there. Extend right. Okay, so we're not a million miles away from there, so we're probably heading up somewhere around about here, I'd say. Current levels of volatility we can easily reach all time. Yeah, absolutely. We're not actually a million miles away, to be honest with you. Where are we now? 30. It's 35 points, isn't it? 35 points from the top. Yeah, that's not a lot. We've doubled. Well, we've done at least that from the overnight lows, haven't we, at the moment? Yeah, 69 points. So, yeah, we're a third of the way up there, 2/3 of the way up. So, yeah, it certainly could. So, I think there's a good chance now we cleaned out this. You can see how they were being protected there, though. That was a real battle went on, and obviously the Bulls won. But I did think for a minute this was going to come down, but then it kept going. And, well, I was expecting it to come down around about here. I didn't think it'd go that far. And but it's still sensible to stay out of that, because you can see the Bulls won over. If it had been the other way around, it could have severely damaged your stop. As I say, I went for a trade. I think my stop was at 4 points, and I ended up losing 6.5 points. So it can smash through it quick enough. If there's no one there to buy it at that price, it can be a little bit more costly. So, in fact, if I feel like from now on that I'm going to get hit with some stops, if I'm trapped, I may even not wait till it ticks above there. I may come out a couple of ticks early. It'd be less of a sting, I think. So, where are we going? Certainly. So, let's have a couple of legs here now. We may have already met that, but I think we probably have, actually, or not far. Oh, no, we're a ways away yet. So let's put that about there. So that would take us above this. So that would clear out any liquidity here. And then there's not a lot now until there, which should take us right close to the all-time highs. So let's see if we get a nice leg and a leg down. Yeah, see, this is the daily. Bearish bar triggered, pushing up strong. So I think there's a good chance we break above there. We're not far off there now. Maybe 15, 18 points, something like that. Yeah, 18 points there or thereabouts, 18 and a quarter, something. Yeah, 18 points ish to hit that. That'd take us over halfway to here. So there's probably, yeah. There wasn't nothing too attractive in there really anyway. That one maybe. There was nothing here. That one, like you say, it didn't really trigger until it came back. And to be fair, most of that move's gone really. You want to be out by the tops really. There's nothing along here anyway. Yeah, it does look like congestion, but as we know, price moves towards liquidity. So I like the fact that we've broken above that bullish bar, came straight down, stopped it out. That bearish bar has triggered, and now we're moving up. So I think there's a good chance we get to that level there and break above there. And we ain't far from it now. So there's about 20 points thereabouts. 20 points, so yeah. So maybe a hidden second entry long there. Just sitting and waiting at the moment. I want more of an obvious leg and a leg there. So something like Taylor has got that, which actually doesn't look that bad to me. We've kind of got the same anyway, haven't we? Yeah, actually that connects a little bit better. It's still working along the same bottom anyway, but that gives a little bit of a clearer picture. Right to the top, right to the top, right to the top. So we're having no issues getting up there. So leg and a leg. It's all right if I had it like that. This would be the bottom here. This would be an area where you may think about going long, but I'd expect a leg and a leg before I even considered a trade. Taking trades like that, and then it triggers you, comes down, and you're right in the middle of that move. So I would say there is a leg there with a break. See, now it's cleared out a load of liquidity. It might move a bit freely, but I still expect another leg down. I like how that's fitting, and that for me wouldn't be a strong place to buy from. So I think this is going to come down at least below there, and if it does, may even get around about here, a leg and a leg. Maybe a little bit dramatic, but I certainly expect that to get taken out. Yeah, that was a big old move. It's not often you see moves like that with trap traders. So leg with a break. I fully expect that to get stopped out, and if we get down there, I think there's a good chance we can get around this area, and if we can catch something on the way up. So touch, fit relatively nice there. So very similar picture, leg and a leg. There is a second entry short there, but I don't like this vacant space here. It could trigger you. We could have a channel down, 2 attempts to go lower, trapping some longs. That'll be a failure then down to here. Not only that, looking at that NQ, there's a leg with a break, and we've got an inside bar here, so that's a little bit weak in my opinion. So my concern would be taking a long there as this comes down, breaks below there, and sits around here somewhere. So let's see how far we get down. Yeah, breaking to extreme. It'll take that one out. It has done now. So hopefully it might find some slow down around here. Another leg and a leg. So I prefer a little push down there, touch that line, trigger that failure, and hopefully let it ride up. Liquidity there, and somewhere up here. So look, leg, another leg up here. It definitely looks like it's moving up for another leg. We should take that above all this, which it gets very close to those all-time highs. So this larger channel still fits there. Still fits okay. So the larger channel, it's an area where it could push up. Smaller channel, this is an area where it could push up. But I would much prefer to trap that failure and come down a little bit lower and then push up. It's always nice to trap something like that, because depending on how you're looking at this, there may be some shorts thinking, let's trying to pick a top. Come on. So 1, 2, 3. It's got to come down here now, hasn't it? Surely, come on. Second entry long was a massive. That one there. There's still a little space here. I think I'd really like to trap that bear bar there, come down and bounce off this line or below this line. It may push up. I don't really want to get above that. I'd rather it come down below there than at least then if there is traders down here. There may be some in there. It might give us a little bit of leverage when we get above there. Trouble is, on another chart, you've only going to have a wick difference here, and we can adjust that chart. So this is sitting on the bottom. Channel down, 1, 2. Could still come down. Thomas Wade's considering a higher low. If we get above there, I think by the time we get a higher low, it'll be too late. There is a higher low on the NQ. Excuse me. But we've had a leg and a leg up, and that's kind of maybe finding a bit of support there. See, so second entry short, channel down, one attempt to go higher, second attempt to go higher, trapping some longs coming down here. I don't know. Okay, so NQ possible failure. I still don't like it. Call me a coward. It's still congested along there, see, so don't really want to get stuck into a trade here. Okay, I'm going to have a quick 5-minute break. It's stacking up at the moment, so I'm just going to make a quick cup of tea, and I'll be about 3 to 5 minutes. Okay. Where am I? Let's have a look. Channel break, new low. Ouch. Someone's just taken that long. Ooh, Taylor has. Risky trade that is. Yeah, he's just lost it. Stopped. Risky taking that. It's clearly sideways. Leg down. I'd like something else first. There's this vacant area below here, which could come down. So we've got channel, one attempt to go. So I'd like leg, I would. Yeah, it's just too much there, really. Sometimes, though, it's so easy to get suckered into these, thinking you can read them. Is there a new Apex video out? Alpine and Nutty are watching it. I think it's different than the earlier interview. I'm not sure, Tony. I'll have to have a look, mate. We are expecting something which is giving us updates on new software. What I believe is coming out is, you know, some of these trailers have been put on probation. Now, the reason they've been put on probation that I'm aware of is if they're breaking rules. But the trouble is, there's that many rules. It's very easy sometimes to be a little bit unaware of them. So I think this software that's coming out, or these settings or whatever that's supposed to be coming out, are supposed to make you aware of them. Am I? Yes, I am, bud. Jason. Yes, I am, mate. To be honest with you, I've never had an issue with Apex. I know there was a lot of stuff went around about massive payout denials, but that was kind of explained in that video. If you haven't watched that video, go and watch it. And I think a lot of it was unfortunately aimed at Alpine. But the trouble is, I think what was happening is they realised, hold on a minute, we're paying out a ton of money here. Why? And they realised what Alpine was doing. I mean, to be honest with you, he was allowed to do it. They've denied. Never had a payment denied, mate. I'll tell you something now. Take it from me. If you're trading normally, in other words, you're not taking massive risks, you've really got nothing to worry about. Alpine, say, was taking trades. He made 300,000 in about 6 months. He was taking trades, and he wasn't using a stop. And he was prepared to let the account blow. Because really, all he was risking is $85. But in real terms, there's no way you could put 2,500 of your own money in there and not use a stop and be prepared to lose it all. All you've got to do is lose once and the account's gone. You can't do that in real life, but that's what he was doing. And obviously he was televising it. And, you know, remember he started earning all that money. Everyone was talking about it. So it doesn't take time before... That's very tempting. It's very tempting, that is. Second entry long. Yeah, it doesn't take time before every man and his dog was doing it and talking about it, and obviously they honed in on it, as they would. I think any good business nowadays monitors social media. Social media has such an impact on businesses, and I think they realised what he was doing, and I mean, he was doing what they allowed him to do, which is why they said they take full responsibility. And I'm glad they let him keep his accounts and let him keep trading, because he was allowed to do it and they allowed him to do it. So you can't blame the guy. But yeah, I really wouldn't worry about Apex. I really wouldn't. I know I have an affiliate and I know I make some money out of them, but I could quite easily move to another one and get affiliates for another one. So it's not the affiliates that keep me with Apex. I've just been using them for that long now. I like the fact that if you get an evaluation, it's quick. I like the fact that if you pay for a PA, it's quick. I know the rules and inside and out. It's just that I think what caused problems for them really is they've had these rules since day dot. They've just never policed them because they haven't had the manpower. And they were kind of victims of their own success. They sort of doubled overnight, and they haven't got the staff, so they weren't able to monitor, for any types of scams or. And they did talk about apparently there was something came up on the settings remote user, so they were started to become aware then that people were trading other people's accounts for them. So there was all sorts of stuff going on. And then all of a sudden they said, right from now on, we follow the rules. And obviously we're policing the rules. And anybody who broken the rules during that time got stung with a payment. And that's why all the rumours came around. Kellyanne was making a mass payout denial. I think they'd been better off saying, right, from the beginning of the next month up to now, we haven't policed it. But from the beginning of the next month, if you fail, if you break a rule, we may make you trade longer. I think that would have been better. They'd have had less of a backlash. But there's so many rumours going around at Apex, and it is, a lot of it is just talk, chitter-chatter. And I'm kind of glad that John came out and made that video, because if people don't know why Apex do these things, they'll gossip and they'll make their own reasons up. So they if they change something, they need to come out, make a quick video and explain why. That way it stops people, people not knowing. It's about denied payouts. Yeah, that's all it was, Lucas. It is people like Alpine was trading without a stop and making a stack of money. Some people were just going for trying to get lucky and making massive wins, but they didn't have the police, the staff to police it all. And when they realised, they started paying massive amounts of money out, and they started looking into it. They realised, what was going on. He's not winning, no. He's struggling like hell. I think he had his October's money was $2,000. I think last month he had $7,500, but he was averaging $65,000-$80,000 a month. But he's like the rest of us now, struggling. But no, I mean, if you trade it without a stop, every time you blow an account, you lose $85. Every time you win, you make $2,000. So, okay, leg in a leg. Nice correction that. I'm going to see what happens here. I may go along here. Nice correction. It's very tempting, that is. Nice correction that. I prefer that a little bit lower though down here. Based on what you said, Apex is on the wrong here, simply because all the prop firms are saying absolutely massive discounts when they pass. You can't. No, absolutely agree. They said they don't want gamblers and windfall traders, but when you make something so cheap, and everybody knows trading's hard, everybody knows it's hard, and you take risks. I'm so tempted to go long here. It's near enough a perfect measured leg. Leg and a leg. I'm gonna have a go at this.
Order submitted.
Yeah, you can't blame people. It's just kind of the way it is. A nice correction there, so I'm going to have a go at that. So this is a leg and a leg. So sometimes when we have these, it ends up here. They work really well a lot of the times, and it is a really nice measured move, so I think it's worth it. There is a higher low there as well, so that's not too bad. What I'm going to do is put that there, because if that triggers that and comes down and takes that out, the trade's null and void anyway. So I'm going to put that there, because if it comes that close, I think it'll almost definitely take that out anyway. So at least that way I've got a risk-free trade. What I don't want is a second entry short.
Order filled.
Beautiful. Okay. I love those corrections. Really nice measured move, nice bullish bar. I really like them. I watch them all the time, and a lot of the time they really work well. And there is a couple of people taking them actually. He's took it as well as anybody else. Not sure yet. I don't think Thomas has. Excuse me, but I find them really accurate, actually, leg and leg. I won't be surprised if we're up here somewhere. In my opinion, we still got a ways to go here. At least he took advantage of it. Absolutely. You can't blame the guy. They're allowing you to do it. And if they allow you to do it, you can't blame. It's human nature, isn't it? I'm not sure about that. So... leg and a leg. So 3 points plus 3 points. Okay. Anyone else getting delayed on purchase and evals? If you've just purchased one, in fact, I did one a couple of days ago, or it may have been yesterday, and it took a little while. It took about 30 minutes. So if you've just bought it, mate, it may be a little bit slower. So that might be why. An hour, yeah, that's quite a bit of time, that is. Yeah, it is a bit of time, that. I don't know, mate. It doesn't often happen, that. Wow, look at that. Time. So not a bad day today. So I am trading 2 of these 5 accounts on 3 contracts and the remaining 3 on 2. It's nice to have that little bit extra sometimes. You just work those 2 accounts a little bit more. So not a bad day today, just under, well, after fees, about $2,200. So not been a bad day. I don't often take 2 trades in a day, to be fair, although that was only on 1 account. I mean, if you haven't watched the video, watch it. It's interesting. But John Skelton did come forward and say they brought a lot of it on themselves. But it's just one of those unfortunate things. If a company grows that big, they just can't keep up with it. And the trouble is, if all of a sudden masses of people start buying evaluations, what can you do? I mean, I suppose, they could have temporarily halted them, but it may have been too late then. And the trouble is, if you can't cope with the customers you've got, you're going to let people down, and people get pissed off with it, and they complain about it, and rightly so. They've paid up on time. Why aren't they getting paid? But I got to say, the first few payments I had were questionable whether I should have got them. I think the second one I had, first one I genuinely worked it up to about $7,000 on the 1 account. But the second one, I took some silly risks there, as you do in those sort of earlier days. I don't tend to do that anymore, but I did take stupid risks at times. Why my stop loss was placed 1 tick above my entry, but that strong move took me down. Yeah, I mentioned that earlier, mate. If you get a real quick move, and every time you buy something, someone's got to sell it to you, and vice versa. But if all of a sudden there's a big imbalance, you may not get out when you get in. It doesn't often happen. It'll happen in the news, and on rare occasions. I've only ever happened to me twice. The first time was in the news. Do you remember that time I took that short and it shot up, and I had a 4-point stop, and I ended up losing $615 on the 1 account and $650 on the other. So if it does move quick, theoretically, your stock, it can cost you a little bit more money. It doesn't often happen, thankfully, but it can do. That's what I'm going to do. If ever I think I'm stuck in a place that could shoot up past me, I may shave a tick off it and get out at the close, because a majority of them will be a tick above there. So if you bring yours down to the actual close of that bar, you may just shave a little bit of risk off it, or even maybe a couple of ticks. If it gets that close, it's probably going to get you anyway, I think. Excuse me a sec. Okay, so leg and a leg. There is a failure there, but I'm just staying out of that moment. So I think we're still pretty bullish at the moment. That candle there is quite likely heading for this. I'm guessing quite likely before the end of the day. We've had a bullish bar, triggered, came straight down, stopped it out. Bearish bar, triggered. Well, where's it going? Upwards, so I think there's a good chance we break above there. And if we do, I wouldn't be surprised by the end of the day if we're up to the all-time highs, maybe even above. Oh, strong move down. Sorry, Sean. I thought you were on about there. About one of these. Marco's in that trade there. Yeah, he's done it. Good on you, mate. You still waiting, Jay, or have you got it, or has it come through yet, bud? Okay, second entry short, 1, 2, 3, triple test. Looks like it's getting trapped. So there's a low. So yeah, there's a failure there. I think there's a good chance we're going to push up here. So I don't think that's a terrible trade. Personally, it's 14 ticks, a bit too rich for me. I'm up nicely today, so I'm not taking any more trades. The trouble is there is some support along there, so it could possibly trigger you. But leg and a leg. I would say this is quite likely going to walk up to these highs, move up to these highs. It might be a bit high there, close to that top, so it could come down a bit. But there will be a little bit of support above here, so if it can get above here, might go up a bit. So we're going to break here. 2 attempts to go higher. Okay, I'm done for the day, I think, folks. It's another battle against between the longs and the shorts. Yeah, I'm nicely up today. It's been a good day for me today. I've done 2 trades on the one, so I'm up 730 on the one account, 292 on 2 the others, and 438. So I'm up a nice amount today, more than usual. So I'm going to take full advantage of that and finish early. What's going on there? So yeah, I don't want to get into another trade today. I kind of like one a day, really. I've took 2 on the one account, but I'm up nicely on there, so I want to try it. I want to go and enjoy the day, although it's pissing down outside. But yeah, where are we now? So we are Tuesday, so I am dropping my car off to have the screen done, or finally, after about 3 months, on Thursday. Now, I think I'm dropping the car off for a couple of days, so yeah, so I will be back to trade. No issues there. So Monday, I believe, is Columbus Day, so I won't be trading then. I don't bother on the holidays anymore. It's like watching paint dry, but worse. So yeah, so no trading on Monday. So it's all right. I'm just thinking that's all. So not a bad day at all today. At least it's moving. Yesterday was utter tripe. Certainly this part I finished. We did have a little bit of a move in the afternoon, which wasn't too bad. There was maybe a trade or two there, but this, I think it was 3 hours ago and sideways. It was horrible yesterday. And not just that. Every time we hit the top, we're doing it in different times. It just makes it harder to judge it then. But I got into a trade but got out of it in the end, I think, although it went on to work, but that's fine. Anyway, I've got no issues with that. But we're stacking up a little bit now, so a little bit congested. We're bouncing off this line, so is it going to go up? Quite possibly, but I'm not sure at the moment. We got a break, 2 attempts to go up, so it could maybe move down. I don't know anyway. But look, I appreciate all the comments. So if you're carrying on trading, best of luck. I hope you get a setup. I think you probably will today. We've got CPI on Thursday, day after tomorrow, so expect some fireworks. We're getting very close to this election now, so it'll be interesting to see how this, what has effect on it. We're still waiting on this possible retaliation from Israel against Iran, so that is probably going to affect things as well, I dare say. Last time it all kicked off with Israel in the West Bank, it did affect prices. So there's a few things that are going to make the price, could get some volatility leading up to it, but it's all in good fun, isn't it? It's all part of the fun. So there you go. So I'll love you and leave you. Have a great evening. Stay safe, and I'll be back tomorrow. Do it all again. Bye for now.